Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, St. Lear 13, as we are preparing to get underway for our fourth stint here at TORA's 24 Hours of Daytona. I've had some interesting earlier stints. The first stint has been the most dramatic, but stint 2 and stint 3 have definitely had quite some interesting racing, so we're going to go over that in just a bit here. We may be missing one driver, I'm not sure. We'll check in a bit here. But anyways, let's go ahead and give you all a quick rundown on everything that's happened in the prior stints thus far. In stint 1, Isa Bay dominated pretty much from the word go. However, would end up running themselves out of fuel right before making their first stop, which dropped them from what should have been a massive, dominant, easy win down to about 4th. Nizrama had an accident in lap 1 and had to jump onto a radically alternate strategy to try and make up ground. They also had a spin a little bit later on. And they made it all the way back up to 3rd, but they did it off the back of skipping a pit stop, so more than likely there's going to be a big penalty, a distance penalty on them. In the GT category, it was Ducky who dominated that first stint throughout the majority of that event, but Larry B the G was able to close in as Larry pitted early, while Ducky pitted late during the first round of stops, and Larry made a monstrous run on the outside, stole the top position, and Larry just kind of walked off. Ducky ended up not being able to finish that first stint. It ended up being Larry versus LMP Flo, who were fighting for the top spot in the GT category on 2 alternate strategies. In the end, it was Flo who took top honors. The Porsche has just been uncompetitive in the prototype category pretty much all day today. Didn't even get anywhere close to a podium in stint 1. Did get a podium in stint 2. Nowhere close to a podium in stint 3. Also, Andrew and CBL got into it in stint 1 as well. Turned CBL into... Andrew got turned into the inside wall, but had no damage, and that turn 1 accident kept going without too much issue. Which in the end meant that Origin, who started 6th but fell up to 2nd in the first 20 minutes, ended up inheriting the win after the misfortunes from Isa Bay. So Origin won stint 1 prototypes, Flo won stint 1 in GTs. In stint 2, Haikyo lagged out within 3 minutes. They also didn't finish the first stint either. Origin and Nizrama were the top 2 fastest early on, but while navigating GT traffic for the first time, Origin lagged out, so Nizrama walked off with an easy win in stint 2. Freelancer had a really bad start, although they started 2nd. They fell to 6th and then had some spins. Just a horrible run for Freelance. However, reliability ended up being the biggest issue in stint 2, with only 5 of the 9 starting prototypes running at the end of that. This really rough time there. In the end, Chung Jong was in position to steal a potential 2nd. He was one of the drivers that lagged out. Moof and Steele had a big fight. Moof was in the Porsche, Steele was in a Jag. And in the end, even though Moof knocked Steele off circuit, in the end Steele did get him. Larry was walking off with an easy win. Although Ducky had a better strategy, Larry legitimately caught him on pace, and Larry was walking off, but then lagged out, and that gave the win to Ducky in the end. In the GT category, Veloce was walking with what should be an easy 3rd, but ended up screwing up on their fuel number and had to make an extra stop with less than 4 minutes left, which dropped them to a very distant 4th place finish. In stint 3, it was all Darkster versus TJ on strategy. It was really chaotic for the first 10 to 15 minutes at the head of the prototype field, with Shadow knocking RV and Twitch way off circuit in the bus stop chicane. But after that, it settled down relatively well and ended up being Darkster versus TJ at the head of the grid there on strategy battle. In the end, Darkster won that. I have my theories on that, and I'll be looking to see if anyone replicates the strategy that Darkster did here in this stint. In the GT category, pretty category. In fact, both categories in stint 3 were very chaotic. 4 different prototypes of the 9 stars and 4 different GTs of the 9 stars had accidents in the first 10 to 12 minutes of that stint 3, which really upended where everyone was going to be. Darkster did a double stops, made stop 2 and then stop 3, 1 lap in between each other. That was part of the way they ended up walking off with that win. TJ came home a distant 2nd, but his team should be in a great position compared to all the other C-Lobby teams right now. In the race, it was Lucas versus Veloce, and Veloce was not that fast, He wasn't horrible. He wasn't that fast. Lucas caught him on merit and then kind of walked away. And Lucas was going to walk off with a very easy win, only for him to lag out with less than 4 minutes left, which gave Veloce the win. And Darkster obviously won, like I said, by a very, very large group, as we are now preparing to get underway here for our 4th stint. Finally, all of our drivers have shown up. So Godzilla CR19 will be in the Minthos Ferrari. Phoenix 8 will be in the number 90 Sunoco Porsche. Synthorina will be in the 156 Chevrolet. They just finished, I believe it was 4th in the last stint. EMC Ragged will be in the Chevrolet. LMP Rikulik is going to be in the 828 Chevrolet that just won the last stint. J Black 240 is going to be in the number 99 Black and Rainbow Machine. PTT Brains is going to be in the BMW. HYR Mall is going to be in that 31 Nissan. Kart Racer 2129 is going to be one of our Jag drivers. That is the wrong Jaguar, I am sorry to say. Just Unku is going to be in the number 24 Swordfish Machine. Didn't have a great run when they started earlier, but this car did just win this last stint, so maybe they can start turning things around. Will Darrell is going to be in the number 13 Jag. Hanser 1560 is going to be in the Jaguar. NWR Birchie 7 is going to be back in the 156 Jaguar. TTJ 111 is going back-to-back on stints. He is in that number 21. This car has finished second in all 3 stints thus far. Apex Fuego is back in the 45. A lot of Apex's hopes rely on Fuego because I think of all the teams, this is the worst performing right now when it comes to total distance of all of our prototype efforts in the prototype category for C Lobby. AMS Kimpachi is jumping back in the 683 machine. That's me, and I'm broadcasting, don't worry about me. CBL Finu is back in the Porsche, and the other Porsche is once again going to be driven by FTC Sakura. So we're waiting to see the kart racer get into the proper machine. Then once they do, we should be underway without too much issue here. We're going to go ahead and knock out an ad break now, hoping that we don't have to do a whole bunch of restarts in this lobby. So that's all of the prototypes. And Jestunku just lagged out, so we're going to have to restart this lobby, I can tell you right now. Alright. Gonna be one of these times, ain't it? Let's see. All right, well, now we wait. Again, I apologize, people. I've already gone through all the highlights and stuff, so, yeah. I'm stuck now in a perpetual loading screen. This could be a problem. Well, I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. That's not supposed to happen. I don't know if everyone is here or not. Yeah, everyone's here. Okay, so hopefully we can get everything rated up and get underway without too much issue. Annoyance. Not the worst thing ever, but definitely annoyance. All right, take two, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can have any luck this time. Please tell me we can get this going without issue this time. For the love of everything. Please tell me we can get this going this time. Oh my god, it's the same person who dropped out. Oh god. One of those times. All right, I do want to say thank you very much to Guest Unku for doing that, getting that invite out to me and letting me know that how they were redoing the lobby like that. Okay. Is everyone in here yet? Alright, looks like everyone got in here without too much issue at least. So, fingers crossed, things will get a little bit better now. We should be getting underway relatively shortly here. I don't see any reason to have too much of a hold up. Hopefully we don't have our lobby host now, Justin Koo, lag out. Fingers crossed. Oh, okay. Something just got changed. Probably had to do a quick double check on something. Can't really fault them, it happens. All right, here we go. Attempt 3, I believe this is. Field's actually randomized this time. That's interesting. Anyways, so looking at it, it looks like right now our pole sitter is going to be Will Darrell in the number 13 Jaguar, followed by TTJ in the number 21 Jaguar, then CVL Finu in the number 98 Porsche. Just Unku then will be fourth in the number 24 Swordfish Jag. AMS Kimpachi will be starting fifth in the 683 Jaguar. Sixth will be NWR Berkeley in the 156 Jag, followed by Hanser 1560 in the number 69 Nice Jaguar. After that will be Game! What? Meanwhile, in eighth will be Apex Fuego in the number 45 Jaguar, followed by FTC Sakura in the number 56 Porsche. Then LMP Click is going to be in the number 828 Chevy Corvette. That will be leading the GT field, followed by HYR Mall in the number 31 Nissan. Then J Black 240 in the number 99 Black and Rainbow BMW. Behind them will be the 827 LMP Esports Entry, fielded by Kart Racer 212429. I'm just going to call him Kart Racer. Then it will be EMC Rags in the number 420. Yeah, in the number 420 Chevrolet. Then the Menthols colored Godzilla CR19, number 83 machine, followed by Phoenix 8 and number 90 Porsche. Then PTG Brains in the 458 Beamer, and the field will be wrapped up by Synthorina in the number 156 Chevrolet. And now we wait.
Welcome everyone to today's event. Please be aware of safety warnings posted around the
That's not supposed to happen. Don't know what went on there. Don't know what Day Black is doing. Don't know what's going on here. Well, welcome back to Daytona. For some reason, Day Black had a very abrupt, sudden move. Don't know what was going on that caused that. They will now fall back in line. I think in line. Anyways, the focus is going to be on this. TJ's been in this position once before, but every time on the start, the leader's gotten a massive jump. Is that going to happen again? Will Darrell at the front. TTJ 111 right behind. As they come to the line, and we go green here at Daytona. And TJ got a great jump. Darrell did not get away. It's the top two who pull away right at the start. And we could have a very early fight for a lead. Oh, and Darrell's wide! Darrell's off! And TJ goes to the top as Darrell misses the first bloody corner! The first hairpin that you race! The second infield hairpin! And Darrell immediately falls to last in the prototypes! And now CBL Finu is top in the Porsche. A Porsche has not yet led today. Is he in position to maybe steal the lead from TJ? I don't think so. I think TJ is gone. But TJ anticipated that perfectly, and the pole sitter slid right off right at the start. He's lucky he didn't fall behind the GT field. Speaking of which, LMP Rikuchik is already there at the top. Big twist, and that's a prototype. Who went off there in the bus stop? That is just Unku. And Unku has went off and spun, going right into the bus stop chicane, and will just barely stay ahead of the GT field. So chaos right away at the start. The TJ is your leader, and Kimpante Rampasamba goes around CBL Finu as Finu blitzes and bombs turn one. I think Fuego may have gone off as well farther back. I heard someone spinning. It may have been Fuego. But Kimpante Ramasama has moved up into second, while CBL Finu is in third. Hanser, 1560. We've not seen him. It's been a different driver in this number 69 car every since. Hanser, 1560, is now up in the fourth spot. Tucked up behind the Porsche. Had to see Sakura all the way back in eighth. Not a great start for them. Although Fuego already trying to recover up to seventh right now. But the Porsche has the inside line that should give them the position for now. It looks like the prototypes field is already spread out a decent amount in the top 6 positions. Sakura backs out. He doesn't want to bother fighting with Fuego. Fuego desperately needs to put the team on his back now. Finu runs in third behind Kimpante Rampasamba. Hanser just a little bit farther back. Finu has a run, but he's not close enough to make a dive into the corner. In fact, he completely misses the corner and hits Hanser! And Hanser goes around and hits the inside wall! And loses the position. Is there any damage to the car? A little bit of engine damage. Well, that's not gonna look well in the replays. As we look real quickly now in the GT field. you see here, folks, the top two right on top of each other. LMP Rakulchik is an LMP Rock Chalker. Rakulchik is... Oh, Rock Chalk! Oh! Oh, I get it now. Okay. Thank you. I did not realize that. I apologize for that hiccup. Well, LMP trying to go basically picking up where they left off at the end of the last stint. One last stint. Now they're leading this stint early on, but HYR Maul is putting up a pretty respectable fight at the moment, just behind. A little bit touch! And Rockshot goes wide. Hold station, though. Maul looks to the inside, going into the first infield hairpin. But the Corvette takes the wider line, gets the power down, and holds station over Maul. Prototype feels completely spread out and kind of solved itself already. It's the GT where things are a lot more interesting. Right now, Chevy has won 3 stints. One stint has been won by BMW. Maul in the Nissan would love to steal a stint victory for his team in the Nissan. He's got the draft. Car is not the most aerodynamic thing in the world, but he's got the draft. He's gonna go to the inside here. No, he is not. He'll follow the Chevrolet through. Try to get a better run out. Tucked up right behind. Looks to the outside. Oh, is this it? Could this be the move for a lead in the GT category? Maul outside, Rockchalk inside. Drag race. Down the front straightaway. Maul has the speed advantage as they come to the start-finish line. It's not by much, but Rockchalk does have the nose ahead, now under heavy braking. Rockchalk holds it. Maul's got the speed, but Maul does not have enough speed to completely clear Rockchalk by the time they get into turn 1. These two are pulling away from the rest of the GT field right now. In prototypes, it's TJ and Kapashi Rampasamba who are pulling away from the rest of the field. Hanser and Finu. Looks like Hanser has finally cleared Finu after they made contact and Hanser got spun by Finu earlier. Now he has cleared the Porsche prototype. Berkey would be the next one to try and catch him. Maul's gotten by Rockchalk, though. Well, the game thinks he has. He obviously hasn't. As you can visually see, he's still behind Rockchalk. Who got the better run out of the bus stop this time? It's Maul, but not by a lot. He's in the draft of the Corvette once again. EMC Rags runs a distant third right now. And he is leading a pack of cars. Now Maul looks to the inside. Rockchalk gave him the inside. Is Rockchalk trying to set Maul up for a crossover exiting turn 1? Well, it's not going to work. That strategy, whatever it was that let Rockchalk give Maul the inside, that was a bad move because now Maul goes to the top. And now J Black 240 moves up into third, ahead of 2 different Chevy Corvettes. Not quite nose to tail for 13th and 14th. Prototypes are catching. Meanwhile, fight for 6th, 7th, and 8th right now. Will Darrell runs just behind, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Will Darrell runs just behind Berkey and just ahead of Sakura. But watch this fight for the lead. TJ leading right now with AMS Kampashi trying to close in. And they're about to close in on traffic. You're probably going to catch this GT field going into turn 1. And they're going to have to navigate them in the infield. It's going to get really, really frustrating really quick. This is not like what it was last stint. Last stint, almost half of both the prototype and the GT fields had damage early on and had to pit. Now, this time, GT fields are much, much closer together from front to back. So once you start catching the GTs this first time around, you're going to be catching all of them pretty much at the same time. Gap is in TJ's favor, but I think Kapachi is fast enough. He could run TJ down. The strength of that entry that is currently leading has been consistency. They have finished second in every stint thus far. While Rockshock keeps Maul behind, the prototypes now catch the GTs. Phoenix 8 runs last in the GTs in that Porsche. TJ just kind of picks him up and lays him down without issue. Riding with the onboard cam gives us the best idea of what's happening to Kenpachi and TJ. And Kenpachi just completely blows the second hairpin. I'll let TJ scoot away a little bit. Now tucked up behind PTG Brains. Get to the inside, but TJ's already gotten ahead of Godzilla. Now, TJ's already cleared kart racer as well. Ooh. But Kenpachi got through the bus stop without anything holding him up. This could be good. Thing is, can he clear all 3 of these prototype cars before they get to turn 1? TJ only has 2 more prototype cars he'll have to deal with. EMC Rags coming into the pits early on. He's not the only one. So GT cars already pitting. Kenpachi does clear all the GT cars by the time they get to turn 1. He's closed a small amount on TJ. And there it is, the fight for a lead. And TJ's right there, having a big impact. He's going to shoot up the inside, 3 wide. I said shoot the inside, he shot up the middle. Even more impressive, 3 wide. And now Maul is ahead of Rockshock. So the leaders in the prototypes determine the leader in the GTs. Kenpachi tries to go around the extreme outside of both Rockshock and Maul. Now he's going to go up the middle of the boat. Maul takes the lead as Rockshock falls to second in GT. So TJ holds station. Kenpachi is struggling in the infield a bit, and the gap between first and second opens up. Something has happened to knock Will Darrell to 4th. He's gotten clear of Unku and Birchie. Finu currently runs in 3rd position. And in the pits, Hanser, 1560, has already made his first stop on a radically different strategy from most everyone else. Now Rockshock has the run on Maul. He goes to the outside, neck and neck, off the banking now. Rockshock has the nose ahead. Nissan versus Corvette. Maul does not even have anything to fight back. Rockshock takes the lead before they even get to the start-finish line. And now into turn 1. Maul tries to cross over on exit. Not gonna work, not this time. Rockshock left the inside line open, or attempted Maul to take an inside line, but he shut it before Maul could even capitalize on it. I'm not really sure what was going on there, if it was just Rockshock got offline or what. So 1 GT car and 1 prototype car. Hanser and EMC Rags, respectively, both have already made their first stops. There goes 4th place Daryl. And then we'll see Berkey and Sakura close up on this group very shortly here. Berkey lunges to the inside of Rockshock. Gets right in between the two GT leaders. Rockshock's now by Maul. And gets squeezed and pinched by Sakura. And now Maul has a run on the outside. Drag race for the GT category lead. Maul outside, Rockshock inside. The Chevy has a significant straight line speed advantage. What's Maul's gonna do? He'll actually brake early to fall back in line. Pushes the Chevrolet just a bit from behind, but Rockshock is unfazed and stays on line. Now just Unku catches the duo. And Unku tries to outrun both GT cars to the inside of the first infield hairpin. Can't do it. He will outrun Rockshock though to the kink. So it looks like traffic navigation is going in Rockshock's favor. Someone asked how far back Berkey is. Well, do you mean to the lead or to Daryl? Because if you look at Berkey right now, you can see Daryl, who is in 4th, literally right ahead of him. And Sakura not that far behind. Now, if you want to know how far Berkey is from the leader, let's just say he's about a quarter of a lap behind. AMS Kenpachi pitting out 2nd. So Kenpachi with an earlier stop. TJ is actually going longer this time, so maybe TJ is trying to pick up and run the Darkster strategy. Might try to double stick. Here comes Berkey to the outside of Daryl. Daryl started on pole, slid off lap 1, turn 1. Well, not literally turn 1, but the first racing turn. But has climbed his way back up to 4th. And now slips behind Berkey. So Berkey moves up into 3rd for the moment. Big thing, though, is going to be Kenpachi is going to be behind a bunch of other prototypes he'll have to navigate now. FTC Sakura now has a run on Daryl there for 4th. Side by side. And onto the hairpin that leads you back onto Speedway Turn 1. Sakura has completed the run on Daryl. So Daryl now slips to 5th as Sakura goes up to 4th and is trying to put his sights on Berkey once again. Sibel Finu in a Porsche is currently in 2nd. But a long way back from our leaders. From our 1 leader. Kenpachi is our other potential leader, but Kenpachi, I think, is going to be splitting the stint in nice, even sections like we saw TJ do in the last run. Sakura's right there behind Berkey. He's going to go for a move into turn 1. Looks to the outside. Heavy under the brakes. Tries the outside, slides the back end of that Porsche prototype all over the place. Daryl also slides off. So Sakura doesn't have to worry about being overtaken from behind. Not quite nose to tail. Sakura touches Berkey and pushes him forward. They rush to the kink. Nose to tail now. Sakura, does he make a move? Not this time. Takes a little bit wider entry to try and have a tighter exit, but spins the tires, doesn't really make any ground this time. Now into the hairpin that leads you onto Speedway Turn 1 once again. Sakura is closer to Berkey than he was before. He looks to the outside! 56 on the outside. This stint right now is probably the strongest the Porsches have looked thus far. Sakura looking inside now. The tie looks low, but decides to just follow Berkey through. TJ now making his first stop. So TJ doesn't go as far as what we saw Darkster do in Stint 1, but he still went farther than Kenpachi. So we'll keep an eye on where TJ and Kenpachi end up relative to each other. And Berkey is going to stay out, but Sakura is going to come in. So CB Finu, even if it's just off of pit stop strategies, is your current leader. First time we've seen one of the Porsche prototypes leading all day. But here's where the real interest is. Campazzi has made his stop early. Where is he going to be in relation to TJ? Nowhere close. Something has gone wrong with Campazzi. He must have had some sort of incident or something, because he was right behind TJ, but now he is way behind, nowhere near TJ. So things are looking up for TJ at the moment, as Campazzi is now chapped up behind Hanser 1560. Top 5 drivers have yet to pit. TJ caught behind Fuego at the moment. As Finu leads, Berkey is a distant second. Will Darrell is third, Jess Unku is fourth, and Fuego is fifth. We're going to watch the entire field go through their first set of stops before we take our first commercial break. So that is one advantage of having those constant restarts that lets us fill up the pre-race with a whole lot of ads so we can go really, really long the race without worrying about breakaway. So PTT Brains and Kart Racer pits in the GT category is still RockShox and Maul. RockShox has pulled out a small advantage over Maul. Real quickly, I want to look at their tire wear. 34.8 for RockShox on the right front. For Maul on the other hoof, it is 33.5 on the right rear. So Maul's a little bit better on tire wear, but I do feel that right now, I don't know if it's because of car, setup, or driver, RockShox is better than Maul. So now second, third, and fourth all pit. So Will Darrell, who started on pole, now inherits the lead. And TJ easily moves up into third overall, but has had struggles trying to get by Fuego. He's got to be a little bit aggravated by being caught up behind like this. There's just nowhere for him to really get by. I wonder if Fuego has a setup that's just ripped out all the downforce for maximum straight line speed. If that's the case, CJ is going to be in absolute agony trying to get by Fuego until Fuego inevitably decides to make a stop. Oh, Fuego slid out though and left TJ the inside. Fuego cops down on him. Fuego does not give TJ the inside. The door was open, but TJ could not get there in time, and Fuego slammed the door on the driver who I anticipate is going to be the overall leader once first and second pit. Maul pitted, but RockShox stays out, so we're going to keep an eye on that fight as well at the lead for the GT category. As TJ continues to struggle to get by Fuego. Now Will Darrell pits out of the top spot. Fuego staying out, though, another lap. So Fuego will now go ahead and lead a lap. So I think this stint we've seen more drivers lead in the prototype category than anywhere else. But TJ losing a huge chunk of time being caught up behind Fuego. That is Hanser 1560 back there in third. Oh, and who is that? Is that, yes, okay, it's Kart Racer. It was not Maul, I apologize. But Nissan goes off right in front of the leaders, but they will not get caught up in his mess. So Unku already making their second stop, so Unku having an absolutely atrocious run once more. Fuego, who this car has been absolutely unbearable most of the day for all his teammates, he has it in the lead and is keeping the fastest driver in the stint, TJ, behind, but not anymore! TJ's got him! Fuego, big switch, big slide! TJ finally goes back to the top spot where we believe he belongs. Godzilla is going to pit out of 12th. So that will likely move Phoenix up to 12th, which would be 13th. Oh, and TJ hits the back of the BMW. Is there damage to TJ's car? No damage, but that let Fuego get back by ahead. I think that was PTT Brains that he hit, but now Fuego is suddenly back ahead as traffic works in Fuego's favor and against TJ. Fuego still has yet to make his first stop, but he is getting maximum mileage out of this and really frustrating the velocity driver. Now gets to the inside of Fuego in that second infield hairpin, but they still have traffic to navigate. TJ lunges to try and clear Phoenix 8 as quickly as possible. They're clear. And now Maul, who's one of the faster drivers in the GT category, but he's going to catch him in a straight line, so it's not going to be an issue. And with that, TJ now has clear track ahead, so TJ should be able to hold station over Fuego for a while, but that had to be absolutely annoying. And now Rock Chalk is going to make his stop. So the question is, where is Maul going to end up in relation to Rock Chalk once Rock Chalk finishes his pit stop? And it's third place Hanser who's going by. The Chevy GT on pit lane is already moving. Maul still not out of Speedway turn 4. There goes Kenpachi Ramba. Fuego now pits out second. Also, Phoenix 8 is elected to make his stop, so now everyone except Synthorina has made their first stop. Rock Chalk has already rounded turn 1 while Maul is still in turn 1. I think it looks like Rock Chalk is going to hold a... Oh, Maul misses turn 1 exit, and that settles it. Rock Chalk will end up well ahead of Maul. Fuego, despite spending all that time out, he's going to fall all the way back to 8th. From 1st to 8th in about a lap, although granted, a lot of that was because of the pit stop. And Synthorina, the only driver who has yet to make their first stop. Not a lot of fuel left, burned off a lot of the tire, and when Synthorina pits, we imagine that Rock Chalk will take the lead of this race back. Synthorina will likely end up back there with Maul or Rags, somewhere in the 3rd or 4th position. Synthorina still has not yet made their final stop. Meanwhile, Kenpachi runs in 3rd, has slipped behind Hanser. Hanser has gotten this number 69 Jaguar up into 2nd position right now. But the strategies for our top 4 are all over the place when it comes to fuel and tire gimmicks. This is your leader, TJ. 14.7% on that right rear, 28.4% fuel. Hanser, who is behind, 17% fuel, much more worn tires. Kenpachi, who is behind that as well, 30% fuel, 20.8% tires. And then Finu, who is even farther behind, almost out of contention for this race win, honestly, 43% fuel, 12% tires. And Sakura is making their second stop at the moment. This is an interesting fight going on in the middle of the GT field between 2 different BMWs, PTG Brains and Jack Black 240, having a bit of a drag race now. J Black has the inside line, which is the line of choice, coming onto the speedway section, but he taps the inside grass, will lose a bit of traction. Still side by side, coming into speedway turn 1. And Synthorina is finally going to pit out of the lead of the GT field. Brains holding station on the outside and might actually be able to finish this overtake on Black. Yes! And Brains on the extreme inside finally finishes the overtake. Fuego will blitz by both of the BMWs. Nice move on Brains to get by Black here. But Brains blows it in the bus stop, drives through the grass and falls right back behind Black, and by a massive gap at that. Meanwhile, Rock Chalk will inherit the lead back. We know that for sure. But where is Synthorina going to end up in relation to Maul and Rags? Maul comes around turn 1. Synthorina still in the pit lane exit. Is Synthorina going to end up ahead of Maul? Not quite. Really close, but just not quite there. So Synthorina closes in on Maul, and Rockshock pulls away from both of them after the first round of stops here. But at the front, an interesting little shenanigan as Hanser is closing in on TJ. We're going to go on board with Hanser for a flying lap as we watch him try to run down TJ. Well, welcome back to Daytona as we watch Hanser as he's trying to run TJ down at the front. Unlike the prior few stints that we've run, this is not a walkaway in the prototype lead. This is honestly a lot closer than it has been, and I could see TJ, Hanser, or Kenpachi get this as our prototype leaders are about to come up on traffic once more. TJ's been a little bit better at navigating traffic. Kenpachi had just about caught TJ, but after a pit stop must have made some sort of mistake to drop him behind Hanser. Oh my goodness, and Phoenix 8 gets hit and spun right off circuit with a huge accident. The car is destroyed. And he may not have been the only one. Did Hanser hit him? Well, Hanser's almost out of fuel, but Hanser might have hit the Porsche. But TJ hip-checked the Porsche coming out of the kink. And Phoenix 8, who's already last in the GT category, now has gigantic terminal damage. And I hate to say it, but this pretty much locks this Porsche driver into last in the GT category. A huge impact. Going into the second infield chicane. And Hanser caught right up to TJ before making a stop. Let's see about Kenpachi though. Here is he. Can he close in on TJ at all? Well, fight for second in GT seems to be heating up just a little bit. Synthorina runs behind HYR Maul. Chevys Corvette seem to have an absolute outright advantage for the most part. I don't think they're the Oh, whoa! I literally just saying good things about this car, and it just completely botches the corner. No damage. No engine damage or anything like that. That was pretty significant. But anyway, Stint, these GTs, the Chevrolet Corvette GT, seem to be the fastest ones, at least in this field, but I don't think it's because of performance issues. You see how high the left side has got as he jumped over the curb there? I think it's more just the drivers are really maximizing what these Chevrolet GTs can do in a straight line and kind of harming what they can do in the corners. Really trying to min-max the setups here. I think it's more Rockchalk's absolutely made it work. Stint, not quite to the same extent, but he's been making something work out of it, to say the least. A little bit of a fight for 5th and 6th as Hanser has made his second stop and is now caught behind Will Darrell, who is 5th on track and has not yet made his second stop. Yes, Nunku has also made a second stop, but we believe that was due to accidents, so Nunku is going to have to jump onto a radically alternate strategy to try and make something happen here. Darrell kind of sliding out in front of Hanser. Going to try and run to the inside. Can he get to the inside in time? No, he cannot. And Hanser slides really wide coming onto Speedway Turn 1. TJ, your race leader, will go ahead and pit. So where is that going to put TJ in relation to Hanser? Kempachi is going to pit out second as well. So TJ, Kempachi, and Hanser are top 3, all kind of running around each other on strategy roughly and on track. But Hanser caught up behind prototype traffic right now. This could really hurt his chance to try and steal the lead. Darrell leaves the inside open for Hanser. Drag race through turn 4. And Hanser completes the pass. CBL Finu in the Porsche goes back to the lead for a second time today as he's on a different strategy from our top 3 Jaguar prototypes. Berkey gets by TJ, but TJ has already come out of pit lane. And Hanser will get by Kempachi though, and by a pretty significant margin. And honestly, Hanser has closed in on TJ just a little bit. That car ahead that you see, that is TJ. But your race leader now in prototype is this man in the Porsche. CBL Finu, who is on an alternate strategy, can go for a little bit longer with the fuel in the car. Berkey runs in second, a very distant second compared to Finu. Well, not very distant, but moderately distant second compared to Finu. Also has the fuel and tires to go quite the distance. And then you get TJ, who's honestly not too far behind his duo. If TJ can put together some good laps, he might catch them on track on merit, which I don't think he'd want to do. I think TJ would honestly prefer to be running in clean air if he can. But big thing for TJ is that Hanser, I keep saying Hansu, I'm sorry, Hanser seems to have his number on lap time. All right, Finu now pitting out of the top spot. So that should give the lead over to Berkey, unless Berkey decides to pit this lap as well. No, Berkey stays out. TJ will cycle up to second, and Hanser will cycle up to third now. Big lockup, big slide for Hanser. Darrell, who was holding up Hanser earlier, has completely lost the plot in relation to him. Meanwhile, in GT, this might not surprise you, but while Rockchalk has pulled away, Maul and Stint are really on it. Stint makes a lot of mistakes, but does seem to have legitimately faster laps than what Maul can put in. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that to the end here. So our prototype drivers are making their second rounds of stops right now. Not quite the case for the GT cars, though. Arena real. Oh my goodness, that Chevrolet closes in so much in the last about 500 feet on the Speedway Oval before turn 1. And Maul is not having a great time of it coming out of turn 1 either. So all that ground that Stint Arena runs down, they are keeping. They're maintaining that advantage over Maul. PCG Brains pits farther back. Still waiting on Fuego, Will Darrell, and NWR Berkey to make their final stops amongst the prototype category. TJ is legitimately closing down on Berkey on track. I really don't think TJ wants to catch Berkey, but he is closing him. Or, I mean, I guess if he catches Berkey coming out of the bus stop and lets Berkey give him a massive pull before Berkey comes into the pits, I guess that would be ideal for TJ, but yeah. Stint Arena still trapped up behind Maul. Look how much that Chevrolet closes in a straight line. A gigantic power advantage at the end of the straights. Oh, Stint Arena really slides, though, coming out of the bus stop, and that opens the gap up in Maul's favor. And that is Berkey, your current prototype category leader, who has to go around the outside of the GTs here, but are fighting for second. Look at this, look at this. Even with that bad run out of the bus stop, Cynthia's got to run, coming around the outside. Heavy under braking. Oh, might be carrying too much speed, way too much speed. Cynthia completely misses it. And comes on track right alongside TJ, who will inherit the prototype lead. And TJ's already by the Nissan by the time they get into the first infield hairpin. Stint Arena is there. Stint Arena has the speed, but is making just too many mistakes, going for too many big, risky moves. And that is a prototype. That is a 69 of Hanser. That was denied the inside line. Can Hanser get to the inside of Maul before the braking zone? They can. And that will really work out in Stint Arena's favor. Maul is compromised. Stint Arena's got a great run. Is that going to be what Stint Arena needs to try and steal second for Maul here? Here goes Will Darrell. Maul tries to catch a graft off the prototype, but just not enough. Oh my goodness, look how much of a close this is. Look how much faster they are. Not even to the braking zone. Does Stint Arena go to the inside? No, Stint Arena actually wisely backs out. Does not want to go side by side to the bus stop chicane. Wise move from Stint Arena. But was it too careful? Has Stint Arena pulled up too much of a gap in relation to Maul? Maul pulled out too much of a gap in relation to Stint Arena now, coming out of the bus stop. Stint Arena has the run in a straight line. He's caught Maul's draft once again. Prototype goes by. Maul comes into the pits. This means that Stint Arena has the perfect chance to just perfectly nail turn 1. I don't know if that's a nailing, but at least kept it on circuit. So Stint Arena, I think, may be in position to overtake Maul if Stint Arena can just minimize mistakes now until they make their second set of pit stops. Meanwhile, Berkey leads at the moment on a radically different strategy from everyone else. But TJ is closing. Berkey will, I imagine, want to consider pitting before TJ catches. The other thing is that TJ knows that Hanser is behind, and Hanser is coming. Also, Hanser is dragging Will Darrell with him. So Berkey is likely going to fall well behind Will Darrell as well. Fuego is the other of the 3 prototypes that have yet to make their final stop. No real single prototype driver has absolutely dominated while TJ has led the most laps thus far. Now Berkey finally comes into the pits. But while TJ has led the most laps thus far, Hanser has kept him honest, and to a lesser extent so had Kenpachi Ramasamba earlier in the stint. TJ goes to the top now, and Hanser follows on the way up to second. Darrell moves up to third, although Darrell still has yet to make his second stop. Pachi moves up into fourth. And we'll see Fuego get by Berkey as well. But Fuego, like I said, is on radically alternate pit stop strategy. He will inevitably fall back behind Berkey once he makes his stop. I think CBL Finu might have a chance at clearing Berkey here. Let's see. Does Finu have a chance to get by Berkey? Yeah, he's going to get him. It'll be close, but Finu's got him. So Finu now moves up into 6th. Still not a great performance by the Porsche, but credit to Finu. He has put that Porsche in the lead. Granted, it was on strategy calls, but he has put that Porsche in the lead on several occasions. All right, Cinturina has made their stop now out of 2nd. Where are they going to end up in relation to HYR Mall in the fight for 2nd in the GT field? Also, J Black has made their stop as well in the GT category. Godzilla moves up into 2nd now in GT. But that gap is gigantic. Cinturina has massively pulled away from Mall. Mall's not horrible, but just not good enough in the infield section, and is absolutely down on power massively compared to the Chevrolet GTs in the infield section. So Mall, who had been fighting for a lead earlier, now slips to 3rd. Now the question is, does Cinturina have anything for Rock Chalk, who is going long on this stint? How much longer is Rock Chalk going to stay out on track? That's the other question. He's got plenty of fuel left, can stay out for a lot longer if he so chooses. And Godzilla, who is in 2nd in GT, although way farther back, this is the best we've seen the Ferrari perform all day today. He's now a lot of fuel left. He'll likely be paying the next 3 to 4 laps. Will Darrell and Fuego in the prototypes running 3rd and 5th still have yet to make their 2nd stop. And then our 1st and 2nd place GT drivers also have yet to make their 2nd stop as well. I feel so bad for Phoenix, who wasn't having a great time, but it was kind of insult to injury when TJ hip checked him, going into the 2nd infield hairpin and completely destroyed Phoenix's rear of their car. Hanser is gradually, slowly closing down on TJ. There's a legitimate fight for the prototype win going on here. We're a little bit past the halfway point in the stage. All right, and Darrell and Fuego both made their stops now, so they will drop, both of them will drop out of the top 5. This will likely cycle CB and Finu up to 4th. I'm not sure about Berkey. I think Berkey will get 5th, but we'll see here. Yeah, Berkey will go up into 5th. Fuego will actually fall behind Unku, who is trying to recover from an accident from earlier in the event. Cinturina is honestly on track to potentially catch the Ferrari of Godzilla on merit. That is Godzilla's Ferrari farther up the road. I do think Godzilla will pit. Yeah, Godzilla's pitting now. So there's just one car left to make their 2nd stop of the day. That is LMP Rockshaw. Cinturina in 2nd. Top Mall on track. Just about finished the pass, but then well, Mall pitted earlier and Cinturina pitted later. But yeah, when it was done, Cinturina opened up a massive gap on Mall. Not truly massive, but significant gap that Mall just does not seem to have the car to overcome the gap. So now Cinturina hoping that maybe they can do something against Rockshock. Rockshock has yet to make their their 2nd stop of the stint. How much fuel does Rockshock have left? 18.3%. So go wide to let Fuego and the prototype sneak by, and Darrell will be the first prototype car to make his 3rd stop of the day now. that'll put Daryl last in the prototypes for now, but I'm guessing he's working on a strategy called to try and make that to make a better finish happen. Again, Daryl started on the pole, but went off track. Literally the first braking zone of the race, fell to last, and he's been trying to claw his way back up. But I don't know how well these alternate strategies know. I don't know legitimately how fast he is either. I'm not so sure Synthorina can actually catch and overtake Rockshock after Rockshock makes his stop. I think LMP could go 3 victories in the first 4 stints in the GT category with the way that it is looking. Meanwhile, at the front of the prototype class, though, Hanser continues to close on TJ. TJ's got clean air ahead, but it seems like Hanser is just legitimately faster. What about their fuel and tire wear, though? Hanser, a little less than 12% left in the tank. TJ, a little less than 20. So TJ's a little heavier and has fresher rubber right now. Hanser's a little lighter, but his tires have a little bit more wear on them. Rockshock finally making their stop out of the race lead. TJ did not have a good run out of the bus stop there, but I really want to check and see where is Synthorina going to be in relation to Rockshock. I'm going to be honest, it's not looking great for Synthorina as they're just now coming out of the bus stop while Rockshock is already moving on pit lane towards turn 1. Rockshock in turn 1, Synthorina at the line. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me that Rockshock will hold the station over Synthorina without too much issue. So the LMP team looking to win 3 of the first 4 stints. We're going to go ahead and ride on board with Hanser for a bit as he tries to punch down on TJ, see what Hanser can do for about a lap and a half as we also knock out one of these ad breaks. Well, that was interesting as Hanser went and just blitzed by Phoenix 8 in the dirt to overtake him while we are under the commercial break here. Wasn't the most extreme incident, but all right, and Hanser is also now going to pit with about 40 minutes left in the stint. So TJ opens up his lead once again. as Hanser continues to try and run him down. FTC Sakura also making their, I believe, just completed their third stop of the race right now. Pachi moves up into second, but it's a bit of a distant second. Also, FTC Sakura has now gone a lap down the first prototype to do so, but I think that's partially because Sakura has made a pit stop. Also, Will Darrell's made their third stop, as has just Unku. So 7th, 8th, and 9th only have one more stop left to do. Hanser will only have one more stop left to do once they come out of the pits. CV Elfinu has yet to make their third stop. Yeah. PTG Brains is also going to be the first in the GT category to make their third stop of the race as well. Also, Synthorina has gotten a little bit closer to RockShox at this stage of the event. Not massively so, but the gap is closed down just a little bit between first and second between two Chevrolet GT machines. TJ now pitting out of the top spot. So the difference in strategy between TJ and Hanser has closed down quite a bit. Now they're only paying about 1 lap different from each other, and they both only have 1 more stop left. Where is TJ and Hanser going to end up in relation to each other? And Kampachi is paying out second also, so Kampachi is just mirroring TJ's strategy all the way around. Hanser is paying 1 lap earlier than the two of them. So that's an undercut, but it's not a gigantic undercut. It's a very small undercut, all things considered. DK is already rounding turn 1, so I think he'll maintain position over Hanser, but Hanser will clear Kampachi without too much issue. In fact, Finu will follow, although Finu still has yet to make their third stop. Kampachi slips back to 5th now. Hanser, not really any closer to TJ for now. I do think he's got speed, but a little bit mistake prone, especially when dealing with traffic. Great run through the bus stop by Hanser that lap. And in 11th, Synthorina is closing, and Maul has completely lost the plot, it seems. EMC Rags hold station over J Black for now, and then Kart Racer and Godzilla are pretty much right on top of each other as well. That's the prototype of Sakura blitzing by there, blitzing by Godzilla, and now we'll have to get by Kart Racer here. Yeah, seems like we've kind of settled down at the halfway point. RockShox took the lead pretty much from the start and has just kind of walked off with it. Now, Maul did fight with RockShox early on, but keep him honest, but at the line, RockShox has led every lap. Finu making their third stop now. Pitting out of third, so this should cycle Berkeley up to third, unless yeah, I know Berkeley will cycle up to third now. But Berkeley also has yet to make their final 2 stops. So has a lot of fuel left in the tank, so I don't know what's going on there. Fuego, who is in 6th, also has yet to make their 3rd stop of the race. They are a long way ahead of Unku and Daryl, though, let alone Sakura, so I think Fuego could legitimately be on pace to take home 6th. But past that, it's going to be a lot harder. The Apex team has just really been struggling here. Synthorina pitting early compared to Maul and Rockshock. So Synthorina gets their 3rd stop out of the way, out of the top 3 GT cars. Gap between Maul and Rockshock is still pretty large, but Synthorina was nice and snug in the middle, coming closer to Rockshock slowly, but curious to see if that will stay that way after they come out of the pits. Well, one thing that could help Synthorina, they're going to be dealing with clean track. They'll have 1 GT car behind them, but they're not going to have to deal with prototypes or any other GT traffic for a while, so this could work out in their favor. And now Berkey is going to pit out of 3rd place in the prototype category. Oh yeah, you can say that again. I calculate that C Lobby is about an hour and a half behind, at least, if not farther. And Synthorina has gone off, not massively, but Synthorina has gone off, and that kind of mistake is not going to help them on their fight up the grid. In fact, that might drag Synthorina back into the clutches of Maul if Maul can just keep their car pointed straight and not slide around too much. About 33.5 minutes left in this 4th stint for TORA's C Lobby. Still waiting on our top 4 drivers in GT to make their 1st stop. Also waiting on 4th place in Prototype to make their 3rd stop. But after Fuego makes their stop, all the Prototype drivers will have completed. Alright, and EMC Rags now goes ahead and pits. Rags and Black were on top of each other for a while, but Rags legitimately just outdrove Black with some fantastic drives around the extreme outside and just blitzed by. And there goes your prototype category leader, TJ, around the outside of Synthorina. And that's 2nd place, Hanser, who is trying to slowly roll in TJ as this goes on. It's been a stalking battle. I think Hanser is faster. Is he fast enough to catch TJ? And then catching him is one thing. Will he be able to pass? Well, Hanser has no problem getting by Synthorina, though. That's for sure. As expected for prototypes. Still waiting on the top 3 drivers in the GT category to make their final, well, not their final, their 3rd stop. EMC Rags still runs right behind PTG Brains. Mind you, Brains pit a little earlier than Rags and is ahead, but now these 2 are right on top of each other now. And J Black had kind of been in this fight earlier, but he pulled away a bit. This could be interesting because Rags had the same incredible straight line advantage that Rockshock and Synthorina do, as Maul is pitting out of 2nd position. So where's Maul going to end up in relation to Synthorina? We saw Synthorina have that big slide off after making their pit stop. Will that drag Maul any closer to Synthorina? It does not seem like Rags has that big straight line advantage that we were looking at earlier. Oh, Brains all 2 tires in the air there. Keeps it straight though. What about Synthorina versus Maul? Godzilla pits. There's Maul. Synthorina's got him. Synthorina's going to clear Maul by a pretty significant amount as well. Still have yet to see our top 2 in GT pit, though. I'm really interested to see where J Black and Rockshock end up. Looking at the fuel and tire wear, 26.7%. RockShox can go for a while. And then J Black, who is reigning in second right now. I don't hear any noise. Game says he's got max throttle, but I don't hear any sound from the car. That's interesting. RockShox has made his stop. RockShox has made their stop finally. So what about Synthorina? Has Synthorina been able to close on RockShox at all? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so, but it's something worth talking about. Because if Synthorina can close in on Shock at all, that could really have an impact. Also, J Black, is he gonna pit this lap or not? Yes, he will. So where does Synthorina end up in relation to RockShox? RockShox not quite in turn 1 as Synthorina is coming out of Speedway turn 4. Nah, RockShox is definitely still going to have the lead. I think Synthorina has closed, but it's been by, you can measure the distances closed in, a handful of feet. And honestly, when I try to go up to other people and I try to hold their feet, I can really only hold 1 foot per hand, maybe 2 feet per hand if I try. Synthorina still in second, not really closed on RockShox by very much, if at all, as the entire field except for Apex Fuego has made their 3rd stop of the day thus far. I wonder what Fuego's strategy is. Still has yet to make their 3rd stop of this day. He still has a lot of fuel in the tank as well. I wonder if Fuego is going to try and double stop stints 3 and 4, like what we saw Darkster do in the fuel stints 3 and 4, like we saw in Darkster do in the 3rd stint here. I say stint so many times referring to 2 different things. I'm not trying to confuse you guys, but I'm afraid it's going to. As it looks like PTG Brains is going to be the first driver to make their final stop in the event with about 28 minutes left in the event. So about 18 minutes left to get your final stops in. About 28 minutes left to the end of the stint. Fuego clears Maul without too much issue. Yeah, right now, Synthorina is closer to RockShox than Maul is to Synthorina. It's not by massive, but the gap, I think, is slightly in Synthorina's favor, but still, I don't think he's going to be able to catch anytime soon. As Maul goes ahead and lets Berkey by. Berkey could actually catch Fuego on merit before Fuego pits at the rate that he's going. It would definitely be an interesting thing to see happen. Seems very likely it's going to happen. Fuego was held up by Synthorina a bit there. Yeah, Berkey is running Fuego down with some speed and passion. Berkey clears Synthorina without any issue whatsoever. That just really goes to show you the difference in top speed between the 2 categories. Now this could work out badly for Berkey because Berkey's going to catch that GT traffic in turn 1. And that is the leader in GT right now, RockShox. Oh, and he hit him! I don't think it was a traumatic impact. Yeah, no damage to Berkey. Berkey's honestly going to be making their next stop very quickly here. What about RockShox? Any damage after that impact? No. And that's really not closed the gap down between 10th and 11th very much either. Yeah, Rock Chalk is just legitimately a class of the field on merit here. Hanser continues to try and run down on TJ, but has just not had any luck doing so. Especially when he's getting caught by traffic like that, Godzilla will finally let him by. This has legitimately been the best showing that the Ferrari entrance has had in the GT category. We've not talked a lot about that Ferrari because it's normally at the back, not involved in a lot of accidents, just unbearably, ungodly slow. But Godzilla finally putting it somewhere that's not in the last two positions by the looks of it. Also, Finu and Just Unku are fighting with each other for 6th and 7th position. And yeah, Berkey is going to make their 4th stop before Fuego even makes their 3rd. Huh. Well, while we are winding this down, we'll go ahead and knock out one of these ad breaks here. As we watch as our leader, TJ, continues to cycle away from the rest of the field. Well, welcome back here to Daytona, as our race leader, TJ, has elected to make their final stop a little earlier than Hanser, so a bit of a inversion of how it's been for the majority of this time. But how much longer is Hanser going to stay out? With about 22 laps in the event, about 12 laps, not 22 laps, 22 minutes left in the event, and about 12 minutes left before they can knock out their final stop. Boy, TJ is completely clear of everyone. Kampachi will get by TJ here, but it is so blatantly obvious that TJ and Hunter have been the class of the field. Kampachi legitimately kept up with TJ earlier, but as this has gone on, the pace has just slipped and slipped away from Kampachi. Unku now slips back out into about, what, is this going to be last? No, not last. Daryl has completely lost the plot. He's a lap down, but Unku might fall back to 8th, I think, by the looks of it. Dang. But yeah, Hanser and Kampachi still have yet to make their final stops of this stint. About a little less than 11 minutes left for both of them. Hanser dealing with dirty air, has to navigate traffic, while TJ on the other hoof, it's clean ahead. So Hanser needs to be perfect while navigating through here. If not, it's not going to help one bit. And hitting Synthorina like that from behind is not going to help. Hanser's also just behind, just Unku. Unku has already made their final stop of the day, though. So once Hanser pits, I think Unku will have just enough pace. It will be difficult, but I think Unku will have just enough pace to stay on the lead lap. I think only Daryl is going to be Daryl's going to be the only prototype who I think will be a lap down by the end of this. Sakura now pits out 5th. Hanser tried to get alongside Unku going into the bus stop chicane and really held himself up. Not great news. And again, TJ's in completely clean air. This is just not what Hanser wants to deal with. Hanser knows what he's doing. He'll go ahead and pit now so he can get in clean air. Traffic ahead. That is the leader in GT. And yes, they're coming into the pits now. So Hanser making the stop. Does Kenpachi stay out? As TJ, who's we believe is the overall leader, just a little bit behind Kenpachi on track. Green has made their final stop, and they will fall back to 3rd for the moment. Might end up even behind that, but yeah. And yes, Kenpachi will pit as well. So now it's TJ versus Hanser. The leader is in turn 1, but TJ has just crossed the start-finish line. Oh, I think Hanser's ahead! I think Hanser's gonna be ahead! Hanser's ahead! And TJ's now right behind. TJ lunges and gets the position side by side for the lead. And Hanser loses it to TJ. TJ has lost time to Hanser, but that big dive has gotten ahead. The fight for the prototype lead is on. Melfinu moves up into 3rd for the moment, but he's way off pace and has not yet made his final stop. TJ versus Hanser, a legitimate fight for position now. Hanser slides a little wide just behind, but now Hanser, he's caught TJ. Does he have what it takes to overtake him? TJ has led the majority of the laps today. Hanser looks to the inside. How aggressive does he push? Nothing too crazy in the bus stop chicane this time. Tucked up behind, now he looks to the outside! Drag race in turn 3! Drag race in Speedway turn 4! TJ hugging the double yellow on the inside. Hanser has the run off the banking. Hanser goes ahead of TJ. And now Hanser goes up front on merit. Is that it? Is that going to be what it takes to get Hanser this win? That car dominated Stint 1, but the driver ran himself out of fuel before the final stop. But maybe this is it. Oh, Hanser bounces over the grass, and TJ's alongside. Neck and neck into the first infield hairpin. Hanser's got it. TJ, though, gets the crossover on exit, and TJ's back ahead now. It's a legitimate fight for the win. With about 17 minutes to go. And they're going to come up on a little bit of traffic up ahead here. And just a bit, but once they pass whoever it is ahead, it will be clean sailing for a long time for this duo. Mano y mano. TJ seems to have a lot more confidence in point and firing this car, going through the corners, while Hanser seems to be moving around a lot more. But to make up for it, though, Hanser seems to be faster in a straight line, and that straight line speed seems to be the big advantage that a lot of these drivers have. Hanser's got alongside, neck and neck going into the bus stop chicane. TJ backs out, touches Hanser from behind. He's got a better run out. Hanser through the dirt. Hanser hip checks TJ coming out of the bus stop. They both have to go wide on the outside of Mall. TJ tucked up behind Hanser. Looks high, looks low, falls back in line behind. But Hanser absolutely has the straight line speed advantage. TJ behind, looks high, looks low. No room for anything. Slides wide. Hanser holds station for now. But TJ seems to be way better getting out of the corners. Hanser is better the longer the straight is, though. Black pitting, so now Maul who is leading the GT category, is the only GT driver who has yet to make their stop. And once they stop, it will likely go back to RockChalk for the lead in GT. This is where the interest is. Hanser finally has caught TJ after the final round of stops. Does TJ have anything to fight back against Hanser with? Hanser seems to have superior straight line speed, but TJ's got draft, which was partially nerfed Hanser's straight line speed advantage. But it just does not look like it's nerfing it enough. Hanser is legitimately pulling on TJ even when TJ has his draft. This fight might be over already. Yeah, TJ has lost touch with Hanser. And now Hanser pulling away. So it looks like this is going to be another four second place finishes in a row for the Velocity team. Ooh, Hanser really blew it though in turn one that time. Bled off a lot of speed, but still, I think he's fast enough it might not matter too much. TJ's not totally lost him yet, but the writing seems to be on the wall. The good news for TJ though is that this duo is about to catch some traffic. It's only going to be 2 GT cars, but they are about to catch some traffic. That'll be Godzilla and I believe Kart Racer. The thing is, if they catch them in the speedway sections, it's not really going to matter because just the pure speed alone won't matter. TJ's caught back up to Hanser's rear bumper though. TJ caught. TJ caught, but Hanser has the top speed advantage. And there is no more GT traffic for this duo to deal with for a while. Now, Fuego is coming out of pit lane now, so there is a possibility that they may have to deal with Fuego as a lap traffic. Yeah, they are. Fuego's ahead. This could be interesting. Fuego is ahead and trying to stay on the lead lap. So how quickly can Hanser dispatch of Fuego? Last place in prototypes. Only about 12 minutes left. And everyone finally taking their final stops. We anticipate that RockChalk will get back ahead of Maul without too much issue here. Hanser has TJ right on his rear once again. Not quite nose to tail. But Hanser is running Fuego down with incredible speed. TJ caught right back up to Hanser. Contact, Hanser drops tires into the dirt. But TJ can't do anything with it. Fuego's not going to hold him up. He'll go extreme high side to let the leaders by. So it'll be clean track ahead for probably another 2 to 3 laps. Oh, and now Fuego wants to fight. And he does it with TJ. TJ still closing in on Hanser. Hanser slides just a little bit, but holds station over TJ. Yeah. Now Hanser's opening up the gap. This fight might be over. Oh! 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 Oh no! And calamity! TJ got to the inside of Hanser, touched him once, twice, and Hanser went around! And now TJ is ahead! You saw that here, folks! You saw that here! And there's damage, engine damage on TJ's car as well. Does Hanser have any damage? No damage. So TJ now has engine damage. Hanser does not. Now traffic in the form of Fuego ahead of Hanser once again. Hanser's already had a straight line advantage, and now with TJ dealing with engine damage, it's going to make it even more difficult. 10.5 minutes left. The fight for the prototypes are difficult. Hanser might have a penalty coming for overtaking traffic off track, completely off track. TJ may have a penalty coming after turning Hanser, coming out of the first infield hairpin. Both cars into the dirt. They blitz by the GT traffic. And now Hanser shoots around TJ's outside. There's nothing TJ can do to fight back. Not just being a little bit down in power is so detrimental. Kapashi is about not quite a third of a lap behind this duo. So this is these two to the end here for this stint victory. Less than 10 minutes to go. They have a hiccup there by Hanser going through turn one. Lets TJ get right back behind him. TJ trying to set up for the exact same moves before, but Hanser blocks. TJ stalls out his car. Hanser catches GT traffic though in the kink. Has confidence to get by without too much issue though. Oh, Hanser makes a mistake though coming into the second hairpin, and TJ tries to close in but can't really. TJ's caught Hanser once again. But it's coming on to Speedway turn one. And TJ with engine damage needs all the draft he can get just to hold station with Hanser. But TJ can still brake and dive a lot deeper into the corners. Seems to be a lot better in the corners in general. But Daytona is such a straight line speed focused track. It might not matter. Look at how much TJ closes in the bus stop. And then Hanser immediately starts opening up again the moment they get back into the oval. RockShox is way ahead of Synthorina and Maul. The GT fight is very well decided. It is all prototypes to the end. Oh, TJ hit Hanser from behind! Knocked him way off circuit. That's twice now the two of them have made contact. But again, Hanser's faster. With just a little more than 8 minutes left. Got absolutely bloody incredible. And it's still not over. Hanser does not have engine damage. TJ does. So Hanser, who's already had an advantage in a straight line, could probably run TJ down again before this is over. He's not going to be happy. That's twice now that TJ has used the chrome horn on Hanser for this stint victory. Traffic ahead backs TJ up as they come on to Speedway turn one. That's going to help Hanser even more. That is Maul, who is third place in GT. Oh, and TJ is going to catch traffic in the bus stop. This is a perfect chance for Hanser to close in. What can Hanser do? Oh, and Hanser now puts the bumper to TJ. Punches TJ in the rear. Pushes him ahead of Synthorina. Payback. And now Hanser has the run. Goes to the outside. TJ holds the inside line. Drag race once again for a lead. It took Hanser not even a full lap, and Hanser's back to the top. TJ falls in line behind Hanser again as they clear Phoenix 8. Hanser dives. TJ slides. Oh, and Hanser lost the grip. He was too tight and lost it on corner exit. TJ back to the top. These cars are driving horrible right now. TJ back ahead of Hanser. With 6.5 minutes left. I legitimately don't know who's gonna get between these two. Both of them making mistakes, both of them putting the bumper to each other, both of them messing up, trying to struggle as they get through traffic. Hanser is faster, has the better car. Not quite side by side coming into Speedway turn one. Hanser slides out the rear of those tires again. Hanser lines up behind TJ. TJ gives him the inside, then chops down. Hanser goes wide, slaps the outside wall just briefly. Kills some of his momentum. But he still has the speed. Pulls up by TJ. Now he goes to the inside. Quarter power contact. Drag race into the braking zone. Who's braver? Hanser blitzes it and goes completely off. Way off. He's lost it completely. But TJ had to go back off to not hit him in the side, so Hanser is still right behind TJ. And again, they're about a third of a lap ahead of TJ, and they split. Oh my goodness, they just split the GT leader like nothing. LMP Rockshock had to be so scared. Hanser by TJ again. Shoots into turn 1. TJ is wide. Hanser is wide. TJ falls in line behind Hanser again. Oh, TJ gets a little sideways. Hanser got sideways. Oh my, I cannot believe these two are keeping it together with how aggressively they're pushing their cars right now. Hanser pulls ahead of TJ just a little bit. Hanser dropped tires in the dirt just a little bit there, coming into the second infield hairpin. TJ closes in once more. Is there any damage to Hanser's machine? Still nothing. But we know that TJ has a bit of engine damage. So Hanser has the position and now can try and pull away from TJ just a bit. Is this it? Is a long amount of clear track to the end here. There's less than 5 minutes left. Hanser still is not doing very good in the bus stop though. TJ is still Hanser's better in the infield and in the bus stop. The thing is that right now, the way these cars are set up on this run to the end, the straight line speed is all that seems to really matter. This is the biggest gap that Hanser's had on TJ for several laps now. Slides, they both slide in turn 1. I think Hanser has him. Yes, Hanser still has him. Run down to the first infield hairpin. With 3.5 minutes left, they'll be able to complete this lap and probably get one more full lap in afterwards. If TJ has anything to do, time is running out. I don't think they're going to catch traffic. That is Will Darrell, who is a little bit up the road from this duel. Oh, TJ botched the second infield hairpin. I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably it for this fight for the win. Oh, and PTG Brains has made a 5th stop, so something has gone wrong, and Brains, who is on track for a 4th place finish in GT, now has to make another stop that's really not going to help them at all. They're going to drop to 15th. I don't know if Kart Racer or Godzilla is going to catch him, though. Also, Unku and Berchi are having a fight of their own! Oh no, Unku's around! And hard into the inside wall! No damage. I guess he didn't go that hard, but Unku will now fall behind Berchi. We did not catch that completely on stream. I apologize. That fight's decided now. For the lead, TJ is just running out of time. This will be the last full lap this duel can pull off here. Now it looks like Hanser's got him. There's GT traffic ahead that Hanser is going to have to deal with. But he may be far enough ahead from TJ now that it won't matter. TJ led the majority of the stint. Hanser was closing gradually though. But it was the undercut by Hanser, who normally had been going overcutting, but the undercut by Hanser on the final stop put him right even with TJ, and they fought for a very, very long time. But it looks like Hanser's got it. Ferrari holds the inside, so it won't really be a factor for Hanser to navigate. Kart Racer and PTG Brains will be the next cars that Hanser has to worry about catching, but I think Hanser will be able to clear Kart Racer before they get to turn 1. And then there's going to be the question about PTG Brains. 70 seconds left. Time is almost up. Kart Racer will get out of the way of Hanser. I think will be out of the way of TJ as well. Oh, Hanser botched turn 1. Oh my goodness, that is a slide and a half. TJ's come up a little closer, but not close enough to capitalize. 45 seconds left. Now Hanser has to deal with the BMW. BMW gives him the inside line, will not give Hanser any problem. It looks like that's it. Hanser, it was a long, drawn-out battle He's going to pull it off. He gets closed in just a bit. But with no damage on Hanser's machine, it won't matter. 15 seconds left. They won't quite make it to the bus stop. TJ clawed. I'll give TJ credit. He clawed back to being within Hanser's draft on the last lap. But with 3 seconds left, that won't matter. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's time. Time is up. What is Hanser? Hanser kept going for a very long time. That was a very long time he kept going. A very long time. I'm shocked he's not trying to back up to fix that. We're going to knock out an ad break real quickly and then run down the finishing grid order. All right, well, welcome back to Daytona. As our fourth stint has ended, Hanser is your winner, but he waited a long time to stop after the line, and after the time was up, I don't know what was going on there, so there might be time that gets adjusted later. Oh, and Unku has dropped out, as has PTG Brains. But your winner in the GT category will be LMP Rockshock. Pretty significant gap over Syntheria, and actually Maul legitimately clawed back time on Syntheria at the very end there. Kenpachi also will sneak out a podium result, but nowhere near the leaders here. Is that Daryl? Yeah, that's Daryl who just pulled off in the bus stop. Lol. Pulled off in the bus stop. Well, I'm sure he'll be fine. He just probably locked up the brakes and slid off. Who is that? Berkey? Yeah, that's Berkey. I believe Berkey is going to be fourth in the end. Not a great time for Unku, because Unku's supposed to be the lobby host, but struggling to get everything down. Yeah, that will wrap up our broadcast here until we see Hanser go by. Once we see Hanser move, we'll know that it'll be over, and we'll try to talk with our top two finishers here in the prototype lobby. Not seen them move yet. Don't know what the holdup is. I think it's Fuego who has to be the one who's gained all the distances. Either Fuego or Unku. Not really sure who's going to be between the two of them. Okay, well, I literally just got invited to the next stint, so unless we see Hanser moving real shortly here, we may have to wrap this up early. I do apologize for that. I do want to at least try to hear from our two race contenders, because that was some incredible punchy racing. It's the kind of stuff I absolutely love to watch happen here.
Minutes left.
All right, everyone else is leaving now, so I'm going to just try and manually send invites out. All right, well, it looks like we were able to get one of our top 2 finishers coming in the party. I guess Hanser had to move on. Bit of a shame because I'd wanted to hear from both of our top finishers. But TJ, second time we're talking today. Real quickly, go ahead, include your audio. Fantastic run out there. What do you have to say about that performance?
Well, it was just, I'm glad to be able to get second. So I know that it was kind of like gloves off at the end. But I mean, I figured, even though it was a little bit of contact, I mean, he didn't really spin out. I didn't want to pass him like that. So I get that he won the race, and there could have been some things that we could go over, but then overall, it was good.
All right, great job. Also, one last thing before I let you go and wrap up the stream. Your team has now finished second in all of the first 4 stints, so congratulations out there, mate. I think this should put you guys at the front of all of the C Lobby prototypes right now. Great job out there.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, with that in mind, we will wrap up our broadcast here for Stint 4. Don't go away, though. We'll start up a Stint 5 broadcast very shortly. Until then, I've been your host, Insane Leader 13. Thank you very much for joining us today. Farewell and goodbye.